If I had to start Amazon in 2026 from nothing, here's exactly what I would do. No crazy hype, no wild budget, just the exact tools and systems that grew me to where I am today, and I'll sell over $5 million this year on Amazon. Now, here are some of my rules when it comes to selling on Amazon, and something that I think a lot of new sellers mess up. And the first one is ungating. Every single new seller, I have my DMs flooded on Instagram and TikTok of people just saying, how do I get ungated in this? Can I get ungated in that? What brand should I ungate? Guys, if you're a new seller, just relax. It's going to be okay. We don't have to go out there and run and get ungated in these massive brands. What you need to do is source products and slowly sell items. I recommend you FBM the items. We'll get into more of that later. The more you sell these items, the more your account gets eligibility to sell other brands and products. I did not ungate anything when I started selling on Amazon. I looked around at it. I wasted probably 2 weeks trying to figure out how to ungate stuff. And I said, I can't do this. I'm just going to sell on what I can sell. So I started listing on the most simple name brand listings that anyone else can list on. And as my account health grew, as my eligibility grew, I started selling on bigger and bigger brands, and now I'm ungated in what seems like everything. There's still obviously stuff I'm gated in, but the more you sell, the more your account health goes up, the more your account gets trusted, the more products you can sell on. So do not get caught up in ungating. Just take things slow, find the products you can sell on, and don't say you're gated in everything. You're not. I know you're saying, well, yes, I am. No, you're not. Get out there and source. You're not looking hard enough. And I also have an auto ungate list that you can check out where it's going to have over 500 ASINs that are auto ungate. That doesn't mean this will work for your account, but I promise you some of them will. So if you are interested, be sure to check the link in the description or my Instagram and TikTok bio. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get into actually growing the business, right? We want to get from 0 to 10 to 20K, really whatever the goal is, as quickly as possible. So if I'm starting from 0, we're going to set up our account. That means we're going to have Amazon Seller Pro. We're not going to get the free version because we need to win the buy box. So we're going to get the pro version. It's $40 a month. We're going to sell enough to cover it. It's not a big deal. We keep moving along. The next thing I'm going to do is get my softwares. I'm going to use SellerAmp and I'm going to use Keepa. These are the only two softwares you're going to need. If you want, you can get a repricer. I would recommend getting the Aura repricer or Channel Max. Channel Max is going to be the cheapest one. It's the one I use. $35 a month. You get unlimited ASINs. It is phenomenal. Cannot recommend it enough. It is a little difficult to use, so if you do get that, do the onboarding. But we want to keep our expenses as low as possible, right? I don't want this massive overhead when I'm a brand new Amazon seller. I don't need 50 softwares. I only need 3, 4 maybe max, right? We want to keep our software stack really low. That way we can master these tools and start sourcing products and learning as much as we can, because the more we're working in the business, the more our business is going to grow and the more I'm going to be able to learn how to run the business. If I can learn how to source better, my revenue is going to grow. If I can learn how to reprice better, my margin is going to grow. But if I have 15 softwares and I'm just spending 20 minutes a day in each one, you're going to get a little unorganized and you're not going to grow very quickly. So keep it very small. I like SellerAmp, Keepa, Channel Max, Amazon Pro. 4 of them max, no more. Now we're moving on. Let's go start making money, right? We got the foundation set up. You can set up an LLC if you want. I would recommend that if you can. That way you have your business money and your personal money separate. Don't get those intertwined. It gets too messy. The next thing we're going to do is find our products. We have our business set up. We're not wasting our time getting ungated in all these brands. We're going to go try to find profitable products. Here's a great way to do it as a beginner. There's 2 ways I'm going to show you. Both of these work amazing. I still use them to this day. So the first way is we can go over here on SellerAmp on the right. We can scroll down here and look at all of our offers. So all the FBM sellers are the ones shipping it merchant fulfilled like myself. Then we have the green, which is going to be your FBA sellers. They're sending it into Amazon. You can actually click on their storefront name and it'll pop up their whole store and you can see everything they have organized by category. So as we can see, this stacking supplies person only sells Jellycat. The reason they sell Jellycat is because it's the easiest thing to source ever. So we can see that he sells a lot of Jellycat. We could source his storefront by looking at the Keepas. If we like what we see on the right side, we click the Amazon button and it's going to open up the product page. Now, what I recommend to all new sellers and what I did, what really got me to grow, was I stopped trying to predict what I liked by looking at these Keepa graphs, right? I'm looking over to the right side of the screen here. And what I would do early on is I'd be like, no, I don't like this one. Then I'd skip them. The thing is, this graph isn't full size, right? It's shrunken down. 3 years ago, I was not a good enough Amazon seller to look over here and make those decisions. Now, when I'm sourcing, yeah, I can fly through here and I can say, I like this one, I don't like this one. But for the new sellers, open every single one of these products. And what you're going to do is you're going to first off learn how to view over here a little quicker, right? You're going to know, okay, this one was bad. Here's why. Also, you're just going to source more. The more reps you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. Amazon is a completely reps game, right? The people that stay in it long enough and put in the reps always succeed. So we can come through here and we can source all of this Jellycat from one storefront. And if you're ungated in this and you're able to find this profitable, you just found 5 or 6 leads, right? Now, Jellycat is traditionally sold on their website. We can see we're looking for a duck. They have the duck. It's $33. It is out of stock. If we put it in for $33, we would have found a product right there. So if you are wanting to do Jellycat, you can go mess with them. I don't recommend it ever. everyone knows you can find it on their website, but that's kind of one way you can source with SellerAmp. Now, our goal here is really to grow this business as quickly as possible, right? We're starting from zero. So we showed you how to use SellerAmp to source. Now we're going to show you how to use Keepa to source. First off, when we look at Keepa, we can see we have a very steady buy box here. It's coming down a little bit, but the reprices are holding it high. Our sales per month are looking steady between 700 to 400. Anything above 50 is honestly a good buy. But what we do see down here is this offer count is really starting to come up. You can see people are selling off. Every time you see one of these purple marks go down, that is someone selling out of their inventory. So it's a great sign to see these little marks. It means this product does sell, but the sellers are getting extremely high on here. So this price is probably going to tank. That's why you see a slight pinch. But if we wanted to source off this, which I think you certainly should, especially if you're selling the brand, you want to go on other branded listings and try to find other sellers selling that brand. If you can take this seller's storefront, right? Well, now I have 5 products that's Jellycat. You find a new seller that sells Pokemon. Next thing you know, you have a Pokemon storefront. So for newer sellers or anyone, hit data and offers, and it's going to pull up all the active offers. We can go ahead and include historical offers if we want to. And what I would do for newer sellers is review count lifetime. Go ahead and sort from the lowest reviews to the max. That way you're looking at those smaller Amazon sellers, because if they can find it profitable and are ungated, odds are you are, right? You don't want to come all the way down here and deal with some big guy selling 3,000 reviews. We want to come up here, you know, and 0 reviews is probably a little too low. You're going to want someone who has some credibility and shows, so like this person right here, right? They show they have stock, they can buy a little deep, they have 22 reviews, they kind of know what they're doing. So we can click on their storefront this way, go ahead and go to storefront, and now we can do the same thing we just did on SellerAmp, but we can source it on here. Keepa, you're going to have a little bit more flexibility with the filters. You can sort by bought in the past month. If we want to see the fast ones up top, here we go. Crayola, obviously back to school season, or we can do it by title. That way you can source by your brands. So you know he has a lot of tops up here. Then we have this Bushful Bunny, whatever the heck that is. Then we come down here and you have all your Jellycat. Look at this. The Jellycat is crazy, guys. If you're ungated in Jellycat and you want a good starting point, I mean, I retract what I say. Go ahead and sell it, because look at all those listings. Then we come down here, and so what we can do is we can see everything they sell. We can source off it this way. But what I would really recommend doing is you can hover over it and you can see the Keepa in the bottom right. Now we're going to go ahead and click on all of these because we're a new seller and I'm not a good enough person at this moment to look down on the right. But once you get a few years under you like myself, then yeah, I can scroll down here and say, okay, I don't like that one. I like this one. Let's go look at it, right? That's kind of how you'll work. But if I'm starting from zero, I'm wanting to grow this business, I'm not doing this. I'm not looking in the bottom right and clicking. I'm clicking every single one of these and I'm just going to source until I cannot source anymore. So this is an amazing way to grow your business. You're going to figure out where you're finding specific brands. Like if you were to do this every day for an hour, by the end of the week, promise you everything, you would be able to know Jellycat's found on Jellycat. You know, Monin is found on Monin's website. Kong is found at Walmart. Juicy Fruit is found at Walmart. You're going to be able to see these things and just know exactly where people are sourcing them. And the reason that's so powerful is because if I come to this person and say, okay, if I click on this and I say, okay, I know they're finding this product on Walmart. Now odds are I can go find another seller on this listing who's selling more products from Walmart. So I have my Jellycat storefront who has all the stuff on the Jellycat storefront. Now look, this person sold 100 units. Guess what? I bet they're selling other stuff from Walmart. Now in my experience, I'm going to be able to see that a little quicker, but all this Kinder stuff, that's Walmart. We look down here. Bonkers, guarantee you this is Walmart. Amsoil, don't sell on them. They send cease and desist. Gap's going to be found at Gap. But what we've done here is it looks like this is going to be found at Walmart, and I would be shocked if this stuff wasn't as well. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and look at this Bonkers, 32 ounces, 32 count. We click here. Let's see. Look at that. I was wrong. This is actually found at Chewy. So we come here and now we were looking for a Walmart store. We found a Chewy store. Guess what? We're going to add that one to our little list. You see what I'm doing here? I have not spent any money yet, right? Anyone can do this. You don't need money to do this. What I'm doing is I'm just creating little storefronts with brands. I have my Jellycat store. I have my Misk one. He had some Walmart, some Jellycat. Now I have a Chewy store. So what we've done here, guys, is we first off looked at the 2 ways we can source, right? That's really important. We have SellerAmp and we have Keepa. You can source a bunch of other ways with Keepa. I'm not going to do a deep dive on that right now, but what we've done is we've sourced 2 different ways and we've created little brand groupings with these storefronts. So we found our Jellycat storefront, we found our Chewy storefront, and a Walmart storefront. If you're able to do this and identify where to find products, you're going to grow so much quicker. And again, I did this with no money, so there's no reason you guys are not doing this exact same thing after this video. Go out there, do this exact sourcing method, and you're going to grow. This whole video is starting from zero. So far, we've spent nothing. Anyone can do this. So let's keep it going. So when we look at this Juicy Fruit gum, we need a 3-pack of 120 pieces. We come on Walmart.com. I'm getting that exact same thing for $8.44. They need a 3-pack. So let's go ahead and throw that in here. Times that by 3. And we are getting this product for $25.32. Our shipping is going to be $7 if we do FBM. Now, I would start doing FBM if I'm a new seller, especially if I'm starting from zero. The reason is we want to get proof of concept and we don't want to get discouraged. When you sell stuff into Amazon, they're going to lose it. It's going to take a little longer to get there, and you're going to have delayed success. With Amazon, 80% of sellers quit within 6 months. So it's really important to have that success early. That way we have that positive mindset moving forward. In business, emotion is everything. If you're extremely emotional, you're more likely to quit than someone more level-headed. I myself am not the most level-headed. Luckily, we're still here. But when we're looking at this, we really want to focus on FBM, getting those early wins, and then we can do things with FBA, right? If I'm able to make $8.48 on this one product and it's selling 100 times a month, I'm not going to go out there and buy 100 units. I'm going to look at the max seller count, which currently right now we're at 32, plus me will be 33. I'm looking at the sales per month, which is 100 to 200. We're going to say 200. And now we're going to go take a look at the competitive sellers. So we know we have 33 total sellers. We look over here, we have sellers from 40 all the way to what? A lot of these sellers are competitive. Anyone who's in the 48 range, we're going to call competitive. If we look on the buy box, no one really is getting it in the 50s. A few people are, but not much. So we have 16 sellers plus myself. So instead of buying 100 units and putting myself, in a lot of stress early on, I'm a brand new seller. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to take my 100 or 200 units, call it 150, divide that by 17. Now I know I should probably buy 8 units if I want to be safe, right? If I want a month's worth of inventory on this listing, I should buy 8 units. That's only going to cost me $25.32. I'm $223 in the hole right off the rip. I could send that into Amazon and I could wait and hope I sell. But if you're a new seller with not a ton of money, you're only starting with $500, having half of your capital tied up in a warehouse, hoping it gets checked in is kind of scary. So what we can do instead is take this $223, we can list it the same day, and then we can see what it turns into. If we're buying 8 units, if we're selling these for $48 and we bought, how many did we buy? 8 units. So if we're selling these for $48 and we bought 8 units, we're turning that $232 into $384. You're probably going to do that within a week or two, right? And then you don't have to go expand into crazy listings, right? We don't need 50 listings. We're a new seller. We're just starting out. Let's keep it small. We already have proven success here. Why not keep turning this 384 over again and again? So now we're at 384. Guess what? I sold 80 more. So now I have $384. Okay. I still want to buy more. Let's go ahead and divide that by 25.32. Maybe I sold out a little quicker. So I can buy 15 units this time. I can see myself selling 15 units in a month. Absolutely. So instead of going crazy deep, I'm going to buy my 15 units. Now my $348 is now going to be closer to $720. And we do that, right, for a month or a month and a half. We started with $230 and we've almost scaled that to $1,000 in just under a month by simply doing FBM, not going crazy, staying simple, staying within our means, not buying 200 units, not buying 400 units, just doing simple test buys, turning our money over and reinvesting. Guys, that's how you're going to grow your business. It's the easiest way to start. Do not go crazy on gating. Do not buy hundreds of units. Find a profitable product. Find how many you can sell, right? Divide the competitive sellers by the monthly sales. And then if it's a winning product, turn it over. I don't need you to go crazy wide. I don't need you to have 15 products. What I want you to do is grow your money. So if you're starting at $500, now you have $1,000. Awesome. If you have $5,000, you should be doing this, but on 4 different products, right? Now that 5K is going to turn into 15 or 20, in a month or two. It's really that simple. It's just everyone overcomplicates it. And, we just want to find the winning product, turn it over, and then just keep reinvesting. And that's something I don't think gets talked about enough is reinvesting your profits. I did not take any profit. I did not take a penny out of the business for myself for the first 18 months. It all went right back into it. I wanted it to grow, and you cannot grow. I'm spending $200,000 to $300,000 a month right now. That's not going to grow if I'm taking, 40 or 50K distributions to pay myself. It's not. Pay yourself what you need, invest the rest, right? If you're wanting to grow this business, you need to be putting money into it. It's an inventory-based business. It's not something where you're just getting 10 grand and you don't have any input, right? We need product to make money. So invest. You really shouldn't be taking money at all your first year unless you need it. If you need it for personal reasons, absolutely take it out. But if you're wanting to grow this business and you're in a good spot financially, you should not take a single penny for your first year. Invest it all. People will say, do the profit first, do this, so you don't get burnt out. Truth is, if you want to grow, it's just a matter of fact, invest your money back into the business. Do not pay yourself. Now, when you look at the timeline, 30, 60, 90 days, it's going to depend on how much products you're finding. But what you should expect as a new seller is you should expect to see some pretty pretty rapid growth if you're doing FBM, right? We found this at 848. If I were to sell just this product and I was selling 20 a month, which is very doable, I'm going to make $169 profit. So if I'm a new seller starting with $500, that is a massive amount of profit. You do this on 4 or 5 different listings, you're going to grow so quick. So guys, my final advice is just honestly do FBM. Don't go crazy on gating. Find the products you're able to sell, reinvest it, and your business is going to grow. This is everything I've done, right? What I showed you in this video is exactly what I did from when I was a brand new seller to today. I'll sell over $5 million this year. I still do this exact same thing. If I have a winning product, I'm going to keep putting money right back into it instead of trying to find a new shiny object, right? We want winning products and we want profit. I don't care what I'm selling. I don't care if it's horse medicine or if it's, a massive PS5. If it's going to make me profit, I'm putting the money into it. I'm going to turn it over. If you found this video helpful, be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at @TheBenSpangler. I am launching my one-on-one coaching very soon. So if you're interested, be sure to shoot me a DM. We can get you onboarded hopefully as soon as possible.